Dorsey, and I'm a build technician here at Powertrain. I have to check the underside of left and right cylinder heads before it goes onto the line. Then I have to scan it, and then the computer will know that it's a left or a right hand. Then it will give me instructions how to build it, and it goes from station 1 to 4. And then I'll run it down the line, and then it goes down onto the CMM machine where it all gets measured. At the moment I'm doing a right hand cylinder head, so I have to put the fuel pump on, which will go onto the CMM, and it will all get measured perfectly, and it will tell me what gear to put, and then it's basically down the end of the line and it's done. It goes back onto the trolley, then it gets pushed over to the engine build line.
My full name is Paul Anthony Jackman, and I'm an assembly technician. This is the carousel line, and we've got 10 stations. I receive the cylinder heads, and then I assemble those onto the engine, and also do the shimming, put the camshafts in, the gaskets, etc. Well, the screen itself will come up with a red error message. So if you torque up a bolt, for example, incorrectly, you don't get the right torque setting, it will come up red, and it doesn't allow you to move on. At the moment, I'm checking the lash for the shim sizes on the heads themselves, and then if I get an incorrect measurement, I need to change those shims. I've just done some changing of the left-hand heads because there was found to be a fault on the heads and they needed to be replaced. And so it was a case of disassembling the engine as far as I needed to take the head off safely, and then to reassemble a brand new head. With the camshafts, do all the shimming, everything, just like a brand new engine really. And it's not as easy as putting it together fresh the first time because of access and things like that. After the carousel, it's taken off the line and it goes into test.
I'm Connor Thomas, and my job role is test trainer. We get the engines from the powerhead line. We have a very set criteria. It starts off at a very low load, which we work our way up with load and RPM until it meets its red line, which is 4,000 RPM, and it makes 720 newton meters of torque. We have to do that 4 times just to get a long, concise amount of data, so we know exactly what's going right, what's going wrong, and obviously we can improve that as we go. Every amount of data we can gather is vital for improving our products, and obviously rolling out new products in the future. You need to gather as much as you can, whether that be just testing power heads or testing the full outboards. Finding problems is a good thing, because once we find a problem we can then develop a way to fix it, and then once we've developed a way to fix it we can move on and so forth. So that way it just makes the product better, more reliable.
My name's Amy Bullimore and I'm a build technician. We assemble gears and shafts and put them into the transmission housing to create the gearbox. We measure everything before we put it into the transmission to make sure it is the correct size. We then have a test at the end of assembly called the spin rig, where we test to make sure that it's all working properly, all the gears interlocking together properly. If a transmission fails, we identify the issue and we rework it. So at the moment I am measuring the bores of the transmission housing and pressing on bearings onto the input shaft, as well as assembling the water pump to the transmission. When I've completed my transmission build, it goes to the marriage station where it's fitted to a completed outboard.
My name is Scott Campbell and I'm a build technician. So here we are at final assembly. So this is where the engine comes from the test cell. Now we'll get this engine loaded in to the marriage station and get ready to put the midsection on, which is then followed by the PTT, and then we'd have the gearbox assembled last. Someone will come around and do a PDI check on it, and they will then say it's fine to be cowled up. And then after that we put all the cowling on, polish it, then it'll be checked again before it's finally sent out the door. We're looking at about 2 hours from start to finish when all the stillage is put on and it's sent out.